Hello everyone and welcome to another car profile then here in Gran Turismo. If you're new to the channel, we look at Group 3 and Group 4 cars and see if they're bopped correctly or not, or whether there's any hidden gems. If you do enjoy this video, as always, do give it a like and do subscribe to the channel. But let's jump straight into this one then. Here is the balance of performance for the Honda NSX across the low, medium and high speed circuits. The big difference there is the high speed circuit where it loses a bit of horsepower, but it also loses a bit of weight as well. Some muscle loss with the diet, should we say. Now with this Honda, it has a twin-turbo V6 engine, 3.5-litre turbocharged engine, as I said, twin-turboed. It's mid-engined rear-wheel drive, you can see that right there. Now obviously the car is originally based on the 17 car, which is all-wheel drive, but the electric motors are on the front in that, and we don't have them here in this car. This is one of 3 Group 4 cars that can have an engine swap. It's available in 2 colours, and the car does feel pretty stable when you do drive it. Kind of a hidden gem potentially here. What we're going to do then is jump straight into the test here then. First up is the low-speed bop test, which is at Laguna Seca. Now this course, or circuit should I say, is one of the most popular circuits from Gran Turismo in terms of the daily races, as we found out this week. And make sure you check out this video at the end of this one. We're racing the BMW M4 Group 4 car. That's the first car we did actually in terms of this bop test. And let's see where we are at the end of this first sector then. So we're 18 thousandths up on that BMW M4 as we go through this right-hander. Now with this car, as you go up to this left-hander, a bit of a weird corner to try and get right in this car, if I'm brutally honest. You sort of turn in, and as long as you clip the curb, you're fine. If you go wide, it just struggles a little bit to really get round. You really need hard braking in this car to really rotate the car because it is kind of heavy. As I go through this kink here then, notice a delay in the throttle there, but critically, it was very stable. That weight really helping out massively here as we head towards the corkscrew. At the corkscrew, this car does suffer with what Group 3 MR cars suffer with, where the weight of the car just shifts a bit too much there, and it can cause some oversteer and some crashing. However, look at that time. We're 4 tenths up on the fastest lap here by the BMW M4 as we go into the final few corners here at Laguna Seca. Now, you're probably going, Tidge, this isn't a perfect lap. Well, don't worry, folks. With this car and with these tests, remember, we do 1 out lap, 10 fastest laps. You're looking at the fastest lap right now, and we're racing the fastest lap of the BMW M4, but what we look at is down at the bottom, that Optimum lap right there. And we did this fastest lap very early on in the session. It doesn't mean that Optimum is the final Optimum, because we do 1 out lap, 10 fastest laps. We see what the overall Optimum is, and this is where this leaderboard comes in. And you can see there, it is 7 tenths quicker than that BMW M4. That is quite substantial, and you can see it's actually 30 kilograms heavier. Just a different drivetrain there, and obviously a different setup that Gran Turismo put on the car. But it's significant enough to be 7 tenths quicker. That is a huge margin there that the NSX has over that BMW M4. We go to the medium speed bot track now, which is Suzuka. And as we go into turn 1, I did struggle with a little bit of understeer on braking in this car. Now, I couldn't decide second or third gear on the exit here. However, one thing this car is very good at is stability. It seems to be really well planted, which does bring a lot of confidence, and you do end up pushing it. It's why I didn't improve at Laguna Seca, to be honest with you, because I just kept pushing it more. So I never got the fastest lap improved, but the Optimum did keep going down. Going through the S's then, there we are already 2 tenths up on that BMW M4, and it is all stability, and it does handle just slight turns very nicely. Because that weight transfer, it weighs a bit more, the car just chucks itself in the opposite direction. As we go into this right hand then, Tidgney 1, no real issues there as we go towards Tidgney 2. We get it turned in instantly on the power. So much weight in this car. The rear wheels do get planted on acceleration, and look at this, we're 3.5 tenths up now on that BMW M4 as we go into the hairpin. Now with this one, I did feel sometimes I had to short shift. On this particular lap, I didn't, and you can see there, I did delay the throttle a little bit. It just didn't get rotated enough on this particular lap, or at least it didn't feel that way anyway, as we head towards Spoon then. You do rev this car, so if you are wondering, you do rev this car. It's the best way to drive this car as we go up towards Spoon. So we brake in towards Spoon then, trying to get the car rotated. And obviously I had to lift off the throttle. The car just wanted to understeer there. And again, I think on acceleration, with the weight transfer, the nose lifts up a little bit more, just causes that little bit of understeer. I had the same problem at the kink at Laguna Seca. I did talk about that, just the delay. It's the same situation there at Spoon here then. As we head towards 130R, we are going to cross split 3 here then, and we are 4 tenths up on that BMW as we go through the left-hander then. Here we go, heading towards the final corner. 130R done very nicely indeed as we go hard on the brakes. Now, as we come into here, this first part, not a problem. The second part, I did struggle with the bounce there sometimes. It did cause some oversteer. Not on this particular lap, though, as we head towards the line then. And this is going to be our fastest lap. What's it going to be? It's a 2:08.7 there. Over half a second quicker than that BMW M4. 2:09.299 has just been whomped by a 2:08 there. And that's what we're going to be looking at going forward then. All right, what we're going to do now is have a look at the times. And you can see there, 4 tenths was actually the difference between the two. So the BMW did catch up a little bit there in the end. It has more horsepower, less weight, but it can't keep up with that Honda here at Suzuka. That's it then in terms of those tables. They're very quick this time because in Group 4 we haven't done that many tests so far. Of course, Group 3 we are very heavily tested. Lots of cars have been tested, and you can also check that out on the channel as well. So Tidgney layout A in reverse, and through the left-hander we go. This car handled it very nicely indeed. I could absolutely fly through there sometimes. On the brakes though, I did find that every time I tried to outbrake myself or go for the later of the braking, I did outbrake myself, and it was a bit of a struggle there. So I had to rein it in sometimes to really get it stopped. Again, that could be the weight of the car there, potentially instabilities in this car as well. As we go through that fast right, it handled it very nicely indeed here as we go down and up. Now, all these tests are done on ABS default here, as we are half a tenth up then on that BMW M4. Now, I'm talking about ABS there because on weak, this car rotates very easily, in fact, and you will see that in the Beat the Meta video. If you haven't seen that, that will also be linked at the end of this video. It does rotate very easily. Now, on default, obviously, the brakes are working, ABS is working more, so it doesn't rotate as much here. So actually, ABS weak potentially can be better, and it potentially can be worse in this car as well. We come up towards this fast right-hander then. We turn into here. We do short shift back to third there to go around this corner. I did suffer some oversteer there occasionally as I got towards the top of the rest. But 2.5 tenths up then on that BMW as we head in towards this final sector then. No real issues through this left and right. Some cars do suffer with some power oversteer there. I'm even using the curb there to get the car around as we head towards this final corner. And really complex actually on this layout of the circuit because you do suffer understeer quite a bit here. But we brake a little bit, trying to get it rotated towards left hand side. We got the full width of the circuit there. And because it's so stable on throttle, this car, look at that. Foot to the floor, around we go. We're going to head towards the line then. We are up on the BMW M4 as we head towards the line. In fact, this will be beaten. Lap 3 beat that BMW M4. What are we here then? A 1:48.144 there. 4 tenths of a second up on that BMW M4. So once again, another slaughtering here by the NSX. Is flying past this BMW M4 then as we jump to Sardinia A in reverse then. We've got, what's that, half a second, or 4 tenths actually. It's about what we did in terms of faster laps there, difference. So it's quite substantial really from the NSX across all 3 circuits. It's looking like the far superior car in Group 4. What we're going to do now then is we're going to jump to the fuel test because we do everything in this one. This is obviously more interesting in Group 4 than it is in Group 3. And what we've got on the left-hand side is automatic. So the game is shifting for us. Maximum RPM on the left-hand side. Fuel map 3 obviously is the way you fuel save if you're an automatic driver. On the right, we've got the half shift and then the emergency fuel saving down in the bottom right. And again, I repeat this in every single video, I know, but there are new people to the channel who won't know how this test works. What we're doing is we're measuring performance. The best way to save fuel, as we've discovered in our fuel video, is to short shift. Top left-hand side, then we can see performance-wise, it is better to rev this car. If you're wondering why potentially sometimes it looks like they're out of sync here, it's one frame here or there, it's how it records. See, top right then finishes next, 71% fuel there, so it does save 6%. Bottom left look like it's going to finish next there, which is automatic fuel map 3, already on 71% and actually dropped to 70%. So it proves a point there. Automatic fuel map 3 is slower than half shifting. Short shifting is a better way to save fuel and better performance-wise as well. The emergency fuel saving there saves an additional 5% over the top right one there, but it does cost 8 tenths of a second. That's substantial in my opinion. Let's have a look how substantial it is versus that BMW M4. First up, maximum RPM in terms of performance. Well, it's just miles ahead. Now, the reason it's miles ahead of the BMW M4, for those that haven't seen that profile yet, do go check it out. BMW M4 is a short shifter. You over-rev that car, you go slow, and that is the reason for that. And you can see the difference right here. Half shift, they are then matched identically. However, the BMW still uses more fuel than that Honda NSX. So critically, if it's a fuel-saving race, you maybe, or actually you want to, use that Honda. Fuel map 3 auto, you can see there once again the Honda dominates. So performance-wise, it's better. Fuel saving is better. This is an automatic car versus that BMW M4 for sure. So if you're an automatic driver, one to consider. on the emergency fuel saving there. 8% saved over that BMW M4. And in terms of performance, it's equal there. It may be a little bit ahead, but it's generally equal. If it's one frame out, I always call it around about equal. To be honest, NSX so far looking absolutely dominant versus that BMW M4. In fact, why would you use the BMW M4 in this current situation? Here we go then with the Tyre Wear test then. So in Group 4, we're going to measure distance, of course. Group 3, we still need to make that adjustment, but you can see the distance in the middle of your screen. We also do look at time as well, of course. We go to lap number 6, which we know from the Group 3 test means it's a very good car on tyres. It really is. So we're going to go through the right-hander then, and we're just waiting for one of the tyres to go fully red here. And, oh, it's just happened there, actually, as we've gone on the brakes. So, you know, braking does cause tyre wear, and the front left went there first. We look at the distance driven there. 8.9 is driven. It started on 0 then. Let's have a look at some of these final tables. This is a very quick car profile, as we've got a lot less tables to look at. And you can see that it's basically done one extra lap over that BMW M4, 8.9 miles driven. So it did get more out the tires as well. So in every single context, this Honda is better. And you can see there over all 3 tracks, 1.5 seconds difference between the 2 cars. I would not be using the BMW M4 in Group 4. I'd be using the Honda NSX. And it's quite clear there from those 2. Now, if you want your car to be tested next, your favorite Group 4 car, let me know in the comments. All you got to do is put, for example, BMW M4 Group 4 car. Or BMW M4. Now, I know I've already done the BMW M4, so don't write that one. Write your favorite cars. Is it the Alfa Romeo? Is it the Audi TT? You can lob them down below. That is going to be it for this car profile, though. A very interesting one because we've just seen absolute dominance by that Honda NSX. If you have enjoyed this video, as always, do give it a like and do subscribe to the channel to stay in touch with all the latest content. But that is going to be it for me. So on the left-hand side, you can see the Beat the Meta attempt that I've done with this car, and that's what we try and do first before we do a car test. And on the right, what I was talking about earlier on in terms of track choice and what PD have used in Gran Turismo daily races. Big thank you as always, and I hope to see you in another video or live stream again very soon.